Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a sodden Suzuka racecourse on the mainland of Japan. We bring the Logistical Nightmare Racing, boys and girls. Very sorry for the slight technical issues that we've been having getting going tonight, but as you can well imagine, it is always the way with technical issues. A very good evening to everybody in chat. I can see Mr. Buck and Stephen Kanik in chat at the moment. Pleasure as always to have you on board. We appear to have lost some drive. No, wait, no, I am simply on the wrong tower. Give me a moment and I will sort that out. I thought I'd... Okay, my experimental broadcasting tool that I'm using is not working. Excellent. Just what we need. But that's absolutely fine. You have missed nothing so far out on the racetrack so far. The drivers are just getting warmed up and starting their flying laps. Amtech in chat, welcome along. So, who is going to monster this wet Suzuka circuit, and who is going to fall away come the end of the race? A complicated stratagem needs to be worked out in this race for all 18 drivers that are taking to the field at the moment. Good evening to Wolfman Willie as well. As the opening up of the pit window means that suddenly, well, we saw it last time out at Zandvoort. It's one of those days today where everything is falling out of my mind. We saw some extraordinary strategies played right from the very beginning of the race, whether forced or otherwise. That didn't matter. These guys really did put on a show, and we were having to keep eyes all over the racetrack from start to finish. It was a nightmare, and I loved every second of it. Good evening to those of you who are just joining. This is Logistical Nightmare Racing. This is qualifying. There is only 5 minutes remaining for all our drivers to get as many hot laps as they possibly can in. There is a very high possibility with this torrential rain that the last person across the line could well be the fastest. Lots of strategy to play out in the qualifying session. I can't believe I'm saying that. And even more, you can even see the dry line being formed right now as they come down the start-finish straight. Does Chris Heinecker in the 96 Nissan GTR. What a wonderful car that is. And you would think that the GTR would be all dominating in these wet conditions with its four-wheel drive, but remember, four-wheel drive is outlawed in this form of racing, so that Nissan GTR is definitely rear-wheel drive, as I'm sure Mr. Heinecker will prove to us at some point in the race. Let me pop that out, and maybe I'm not going to need a track map much tonight, because Suzuka is by far and away one of my favourite tracks. Mr. Patterson out down at the... this isn't the Degners, it is the Degners. I'm confusing my Monza. As I say, tonight is one of those nights where all of the words are going to fall out of my mouth, and you get to listen to the entirety of it. And blocking, it looks like, who is that behind? That is Absmeyer, who is in first at the moment, being blocked, not blocked per se, but blocked to an extent by Patterson circulating round. I received a DM just before the race started about That is Koenig. I'm very sorry. There was, as I say, many things to look at there. But Patterson hopefully will get a lap on the board. He was slow last time around, but that was coming out of the pits. God, he goes wide into the chicane. That BMW does not like this wet weather, and unusually for these GT3 cars, you can tell it's wet because you can actually see underneath the cars. This is a new one for GT3 Formula Racing. Patterson goes 11th for the time being. I'm sure he will absolutely improve on that. Stephen Wessels in the 27 Porsche. We are still lacking a livery for him, perhaps. We do seem to have some kind of config file. Maybe that is just a pure carbon fibre car. I wouldn't be arguing. I do love the look of some bare carbon fibre. Good evening to Leanne Strecken and Kalen Mauer. I'm going to zoom that text in now, so maybe I'll be able to see it. That's a clever thing to do. So, under 2 minutes to go. We have completely ignored while we get everything under control, but Etienne Kleb leads the way for the time being, with Sean Strider in that all-dominating 394 Aston Martin from last time out, haunting in second place. Jason Absmeyer in the 90 Aston 2, the front engine in the Aston Martin proving to be the better balance of the cars for the moment. Stefan Wessels in the 27 GTR in fourth. Fifth is Chris Heinecker, who is currently in the pits. He will be taking no further part. Heinecker has gone as fast as he thinks he can and will go no further. Paul Venter is out on track 2 in that 7th position in the DMR car. Coming into turn 1, he will have another opportunity, but that is the end of it. Venter will take to the outside and back to the pits. Neil Greening comes across the line, goes faster than he has previously, but not quite fast enough. Absmeyer, 0.6 of a second up as he comes round the final corner. This could be good. It could also be my dashboard being very difficult. To the top goes the Aston Martin, the number 90 car, resplendent in that gloss black and blue livery. Wonderful taste there. Will go to the top. Sean Strider is only halfway around the track. This is what I mean with that dry line forming. Suddenly the cars can actually develop some of the downforce that they've been missing the entirety of this qualifying session. Mustafa Aranyab is slightly further back too in that number 5 McLaren, so lots to watch in these closing stages. Patterson has the possibility to move up. He's running a little bit faster. Strider has lost a bit of time under braking, goes all the way out. Is that going to be within track limits? It does look like it. He's going faster, but only fast enough for second. But this could be, it already is an Aston Martin front row lockout, with the first non-Aston being the Porsche Stefan Wessels, who we know will be going no further. First to cross the checkered line will be Gerrit Jansen van Vuren, who will come home to 11th. The camera's on Sean Strider to see what he can do. He's lost time coming out the chicane. He just took a little bit too much curb, couldn't get the wheels back on the ground. Will try desperately to get to the checkered flag, but will go no further. Patterson, 0.7 of a second up on his previous time. This could, if he carries on as he is, all he needs to do is nail the last couple of corners, and Patterson could be deposing Jensen van Vuren's 11th position, and I think securing the outside and the racing line for the start of this race potentially. What a final turn! This is very likely going to cause him to move up a position if it's a valid lap, of course. Across the line comes Patterson, goes no faster, so perhaps not. Messiera as well, looking as though he is running faster, but is it a valid lap time? We're about to find out. It was. He did move up only by a... Well, I don't think he did move up a position. Van der Merwe remains safe in 13th position. So, with that beautiful quick-fire qualifying session completed, which, let me be very clear, I am all for these lightning-fast qualifying sessions. Let me just get this sorted. There we go. Unfortunately, there is nothing in ACC that allows me to do this properly. It is a front row lockout for the 90 and 78 of Jason Absmeyer and Etienne Kleb. Let me get the timetable up for you. There we go. Third will be Sean Stridham in the third of the Aston Martins to take the head of the field this time out. Next in line is Stefan Wessels. Not a surprise to see that Porsche so high up. It's wonderful in the wet. Then Tristan Dinobrega having a much better time of it in 5th position tonight. Alongside will be Chris Heinecker in the Nissan GTR Nismo and Paul Venter in the carbon fibre liveried Continental GT. Ranjbar will take 8th on the grid with Neil Greening alongside him. Vermeulen in the 39. We are finally getting that banana car livery on the grid. We're going to run out of time very quickly. Vermeulen will start 10th. Jensen Van Veren will start 11th. Patterson will start from 12th positions. We need to get our cameraman out of the middle of the road. Masiera will start 14th. 15th will be Kianek Prius. Prius will start in 16th. Pullen in 17th and 18th. And pulling up the rear and possibly the safest car on track tonight going into turn 1 will be Robin van der Merwe in the 86 Lamborghini. 50 minutes on the clock. And all of the drivers get away cleanly. A little bit of a stutter from Van der Merwe there. So, let's get a leading car. And as the drivers run around for their warm-up lap, let me get to the appropriate windows. Let me very quickly go to here and run you through the championship standings, which I did have open. That's not the Lambo is not the safest car. What I'm saying is that he's in the safest position. Stefan Wessels leads the way in the championship with Jason Absmeyer in 2nd position after 1 round. But remember, everything can change in this topsy-turvy season that we're having. Paul Venter in 3rd position for the Bentley Continental GT. Sean Stridham in 4th. Names that you are going to need to be watching out during the course of this race. Ruben van der Walt we are missing tonight, but Etienne Kleb has seriously stepped up from that 6th position last time out. Tristan Dinobrega is starting 5th, so another car to be watching in these inclement conditions, with Ryan Barrington-Smith, who I believe we are missing tonight, also in 9th position. Gerrit Jensen Van Veren in 10th position, so plenty of ground to be made up for that Ferrari driver. And that seals out the top 10. Just have a look through the rest of those scores, spot your favourite driver and what they should be trying to do through the course of this race. Lots of excitement to come. Make 100% sure that you have a drink, that you have every last breath available, because I promise you this will be the last one you'll be able to take for the next 50 minutes. Get everything sorted back out. There we go. Oh, I need another monitor. I need like 2 or 3 more monitors to be able to get all the information, including YouTube chat. Remember, I am keeping you guys in a position of importance throughout the course of this race, so if there is anything that I'm missing, I'm hoping that I will miss a little bit less tonight, as I have some highlights and those sorts of things from my dashboard this time. But unfortunately, that is not something that we can guarantee. I only have one set of eyes. If you are seeing something I'm not, I need to know about it. By all means, as well, make sure that you're leaving a like on the videos if you are watching either live or post-race, because those likes are super important in getting Logistical Nightmare Racing out there and getting all of these fantastic drivers who have the utmost respect for each other, and I have the utmost respect for them as well, taking to this track in these conditions. Let us go and watch the who will start in 4th in the end, Tristan de Nobrega. It says 4th. That doesn't look like a 4th to me. That looks like a 5th. How very strange. We wait for the green flag to rise. It is not going to take very long at all. And then we will be going for 50 minutes of Suzuka. And turn 1 is going to be a doozy. We wait with bated breath. And we are go for 50 minutes of Suzuka. Already plenty of positions changing as drivers get better and worse starts. The Porsche will stay in position. The GTR is looking to go around the outside of de Nobrega. Cannot make it happen further back. Plenty of little changes going on. Van der Merwe will fall to the back of the field from what was 12th. Further up the field, Jensen Van Vuren has done pretty well. All of the timing screens go insane for a couple of seconds as Absmeyer leads the way for the A to P team powered by Amptech. Through Degner they go for the first time of asking. Aston Martin, Porsche is the order that will be the top 4. And the McLaren is already starting to drop away from the Porsche ever so slightly, just behind this battle too. The 42 of Paul Venter looking to pressure Ranchbar in the McLaren. That McLaren's going to take quite a bit of time to get its tyres back up to temperature, whereas the Boatley as it's colloquially known, will absolutely not complain about these inclement conditions. A dry line already starting to be formed in this wet weather. That will be good for the drivers to see, but also something to watch out for as the grip levels continue to change. Mandatory pit stops are on the cards as just behind this battle, the Aston of Greening will lose out to Jacques Vermeulen. Going down into 130R, if I'm getting my corners right. That is 130R. I am not completely insane. That's good to know. Best personal laps coming through as they all come across. That was 1 lap of action, ladies and gentlemen. And we are not done by any stretch of the imagination. Pullen, with the slight speed advantage, perhaps will back out of any manoeuvre on Johannes van der Merwe, who is going to be so much happier in these wet conditions with that Lexus. The Lexus way more balanced when compared to the dry conditions. Very much falls out of balance, which is rather strange. Oh, that's a pink car off. That's Rangebar off. in the background. What has happened here then? This was supposed to be easy. This was supposed to make my life simpler. There we go. Coming through the S's. Was this an unforced error by the SOP Motorsport driver? As I say, that 720S is going to take a while to get up to speed. Goes out onto the curb onto the outside, gets a big kick of oversteer, and sends himself into Narnia. I'm very sorry, Mustafa, but we aren't running the national circuit tonight. Otherwise, that would have been a pretty cool line into there. Not sure how legal it would have been. Right, so Heinecker and Dino Brega still attached by a very, very short bungee cord. Where else? What do we have further down the field? Van Vuren still up behind Patterson. Has not made the move stick at the moment. Van der Merwe is up behind the 38 of Koenig, who goes to the inside to go defensive into the final corner. The 86 tries to take it around the outside. Unlike a certain Formula 1 race a couple of weeks ago, he was given space by the 38 because it didn't matter. The Porsche gets so much traction off of the corner that he can still keep the space. A big wiggle to the inside for the 86 car, and across the line, looks to the inside. That is the pass well and truly made. So Randbar has work to do for that SOP Motorsport car. Really unfortunate to see that. Stridham is closing up to the leading pair now. Etienne Kleb. Oh no! Heinecker, what has happened to Heinecker? As he's rejoined, he goes to the outside with Patterson. Let's go back 30 seconds very quickly and see what has happened. As once again the game decides it's going to freeze up. I have no idea what's going on here. I don't know what's going on, but that is so. The 96 did get in front of the McLaren for just a second. Completely different lines being taken. Again, that McLaren, all very different strengths, but big old kick of oversteer. I don't think that was contact for the from the one car. I think, if anything, that was just the oblique line that Chris was taking there that led to that instability. He will try, and he will work his magic yet again, I have no doubt. Great to see. Absolutely brilliant to see that. I was saying the GTR. The GTR's on track. It's great to see the GTR's on track because it's so out of balance. 394 into the pits for a pit stop. What did I tell you about the strategy being completely insane? Desmond Pullen. Yeah, there is Amtech. I totally understand that you'll be seeing some occasional lag, but that is, as you say, to be expected. Unfortunately, not everyone can have the best ping in the world. By the way, is everybody enjoying the hopefully slightly better video quality tonight? I thought I should probably up the ingest rate for for YouTube, as it's going to be raining, and rain always means artifacting. 15 car into the pits as well, so here we go. The game is afoot. We already have 5 cars having dropped in and out of the pits. Paul Venter with a stop-go 30. Now 42 car speeding in the pit lane, I dare say. Let me have a look. I'm glad it looks epic. That's great to see. 96. 96 had an accident elsewhere in Sector 3. By the looks of it. How are the gaps looking from the start? Now here is the real kicker, and I'm going to give a bit of onboard for a while to the 394 Aston Martin, because this is your leader, kind of. The 394 was in third position and was pulling up to the back of Etienne Kleb. And because he's stopped in the pits so much earlier, there is now a new tyre advantage. Not much of one, but there is a new tyre advantage for Sean, to take to the track. He's going to have less tyre come the end of the race. I don't have overtakes coming up. That's interesting. That is Etienne Kleb. And this is what I was saying. This is where it gets very complicated, as Etienne Kleb drops into the pits to cover off the 394 car, who is coming through the final chicane already. There is no need to take any service. So Kleb will go into the pits, put a litre of fuel in, drop off the jacks, and the 78 car is rolling. But what can Stridham do? Stridham is already passed, and that is the difference. These strategies are going to be playing out all race, because any of these battles that are close can be overcome by the difference. And again, with the wet tyres, the deeper grooves make a whole lot of difference to the outline of the race. So actually, timing screens haven't... Hang on. Okay, yeah, no, the timing screen hadn't caught up, but my dashboard has. So as I say, I'm experimenting with a new dashboard tonight, and it seems as though it's giving me real-time information, which is very useful. Thank you very much, ACC TV. Heinecker chasing down now, as we knew he would, the 39 Bentley of Jacques Vermeulen. The banana car that we missed out on in the last round, both going on to what's known as the National Straight locally, and also the home of the start-finish straight for the West Circuit of Suzuka, which, by the way, is another incredible track layout. Really is astonishingly good for what a short track it is. GTR has a peak to the inside, but nothing happening there. That's going to be a track cut for Heinecker. He's going to have to be very, very careful with that. I am seeing a gap. That's where we see the gap. Lamborghini goes to the outside, but the THT car can't do anything about it, as Janeman Prius will concede to the 86 car. Those THT cars running in line stern again. I dare say they might be waiting for the midpoint of the race. Jensen Van Buren with painted on flames on the rear bumper. Oh, that's wonderful. We should see if we can get our little drone camera to focus on that. I don't think it's going to zoom in enough. That's fantastic to see. Look at the flames on the rear bumper. Thank you very much, Garrett. Really appreciate that little touch. That's awesome. Doesn't quite have the pace to stick with Alan Patterson at the moment. Vermeulen closes in yet again, coming through the Degners up into the hairpin. The gap closes. Can the Bentley get the power down? Again, this is where that pit stop and overlap could make a difference for Vermeulen here. Heinecker has Mental Panda Gaming has had the... Is that you, Mr. Pullen? The game's glitched out. See, I'm going to experiment very quickly here, so I'm very sorry if this goes weird. Oh no. Cleared, yep. Stop and go penalty cleared for the 42 car. That's good to see. Whoa, the 39 car gets a massive wiggle on, goes sideways straight into the side of Chris Heinecker. What? What a turn of events. Let's have a look at that. I don't know where I would want to look at that from. That was incredible. This is what happens when the ABS fails. Let's have a look from Helicam. Hopefully it will capture what we need it to. As Vermeulen got on the brakes, I think he left it a little bit too late and got on the brakes a bit too hard. That's the problem with these sorts of things. Oh, a heartbreak for both of these drivers. They're going to lose out quite substantially, and both drivers are in the pits. So your leader, actually Tristan de Nobrega, has got a 10-second penalty. When has that happened? Was that manually assigned, race director? It really is very. It's. Do you know what? This is. I kind of like this, but it's also very frustrating because you don't know if you are. If you're covering everything. So that was. Heinecker did get through, but is going to have to do that all over again, and I dare say that Vermeulen might possibly. Well, we will let the race director make the decision. But a very rare mistake for Jacques Vermeulen in that 39 Bentley will cause some consternation, as Heinecker now is a very good gap behind Jack, and definitely not going to be a force throughout the rest of this race. Quick look at the leader as he comes through the S's. These tyres are going to start to feel a little bit worn at this point through the race. But all out on his own, I'm sure himself and Etienne are both in a chat and will be concerned about the pace of that 394 Aston Martin, who is now considerably ahead of Kleb and potentially in a position to be hunting down the leader. Really genuinely intriguing race that we're going to have to wait 33 minutes to see how that particular cookie crumbles. I don't think as Ranjbar will make up another position up to 10th for as the 86 of Van der Merwe. I didn't see. It's a drive-through for Van der Merwe. I would suggest that wasn't handed. Well, if it has been handed out by the game, it certainly hasn't come up here. Which is a shame. It's all go in the midpoint of this race. Best session lap by the number 90 car. Jason Absmeyer out in clear air with plenty of pace under the tyres of that number 90 Aston Martin. 2 minutes 8 seconds, .323 is the fastest lap for this race so far, and can you blame him? Look at that for some clear air. Where is that Porsche? Wessels is a little bit up the road. Price is probably our best bet. For a lap, purely because... Oh, come on, get the right camera angle. It was C1 that I wanted. We get to listen to that Porsche rumble, and we also get to do a very, very quick track guide. First corner and up through the snake we come now. Very interesting names, but somehow this right-hander just here is called the anti-banked curve. You can tell because it's adverse camber and is a nightmare to get any kind of traction through that corner. Up through the long sweeping left-hander of Dunlop, so named because it tests the Dunlops, something chronic when the tyres run around here. Into Degner 1, down to third gear, up maybe to fourth in some of the cars, but down to second. This second corner out wide. See, even that second gear wasn't anywhere close to where Priest needed to be. Through the kink and up towards the hairpin. Early on the throttle, you try to get as this long sweeping right-hander, so named 200R because it has a 200 meter radius. It's just one of those Japanese things. Will lead down in towards Spoon Curve, down on the brakes, into third gear, hold the car in a nicely balanced slide, go a lap down now to the 78. Oh no, that was for position. There's no point in Priest fighting it. That was not a fair fight. Now up on to the national straight. Rack up through the gears. Are we just going to get into the sixth gear for that Porsche? That's just out. Oh, not even going to get into sixth gear before breaking into fourth 130R. Touch the inside curb with just the inside front wheel and then into the final chicane. And out on to the start-finish line once more. A very, very quick and very wet and very dangerous lap of the Suzuka circuit out here in Japan. It's starting to get a little bit darker now as it falls beyond 5 o'clock. Plenty of people out in the grandstands. Great to see, as always. What else is going on around the field? Not much. Let's put eyes on Sean Stridham, who is not as quick as Absmeyer at the moment, but is just about keeping it in line. A couple of minutes to go until the midpoint of this race. Only 5 cars left to drop into the pits, and I do believe that the rest of the drivers will probably make their pit stop within the next 5 minutes. Doesn't make too much reason to push it any further than that. Another fastest lap. So that 90 car, Jason Absmeyer, is not hanging around. 2 minutes 8.208 for the Aston Martin driver. And further back with a pit stop in hand. Now the 394 car will break into the final chicane and do his very best to get some traction on the exit as well. A lovely little detail on the front bumper there. Logistical Nightmare Racing represented. And in such a good livery as well. Wonderful, wonderful camera angles here at Suzuka. Meanwhile, Mr. Heinecker, having desperately tried to claw back some pace, I'm sure that is not easy in that Nissan GTR. Yep, that is a 2 minutes 8.2. No matter how you round that, that is spectacularly fast. Speaking of spectacularly fast, 96 on the brakes. Koenig is going to make it easy for the slick racing driver, and the GTR will take 13th position away for this time round. That's just about the closest battle we have on track at the moment. We need the final 5 cars to make their stops. I dare say we're going to see a battle for the lead. Another fastest lap. This time a 2 minutes 8.0 0.1 if you round it accurately, to be fair, but it's a 0.52 for Jason Absmeyer. He's going to be down into the 207s very soon. Jump on board with that incredible man. See how he's working away on the Aston. I'm sure that car is super rewarding to get pointed in the right direction at the moment. There we go, 4-wheel drifting up into Dunlop. This is the kind of driving that we're looking for. It's not even got the wiper on. That's not very fair, Jason. Come on. Let us see. Unless, of course, he is not driving from the cockpit view. That's another potential. And that is Van der Merwe finally concedes and drops into the pits. How far back is that Lexus going to drop? I dare say not very much. Yep, I dare say that Absmeyer might not be driving from a standard driving position, given the lack of wiper being used. But that's fine, that's not an issue whatsoever, but it's an astonishing amount of pace. Not going to go any faster, but he is also not going to go any slower whatsoever on this lap. Into 130R he goes. And on the brakes for this final chicane, look at that dry line starting to form now. Still not going into the pits for Absmeyer. Come across the line to complete another lap, and interesting strategy from the 90 driver. Vermeulen now with Mustafa Ranjbar in front in that number 5 car. I'm glad the race director is just as on it as I am tonight. Into the hairpin they come. And this battle is starting to close in on Johannes van der Merwe as well. So this could become a battle over 8th position in the very near future, depending on how they can close up. Vermeulen is absolutely on fire. Do we like barbecued banana? Because I think that's what we're getting at the moment. Getting right up on the inside of that apex. Do you know what? I'm going to do it again. It's terrible. I shouldn't be on board so often. But my goodness, it's incredible to watch. We've got to get to the outside again. Bentley is right up underneath. You saw how close it was, just underneath the tower on the left-hand side. The McLaren will go out wide to try and conserve some speed, but that Bentley is going to be the last of the late breakers. The SOP Motorsport car is going to have to start going defensive really quickly. It's not happy in these wet conditions at all, which is fairly well known, I believe, that is the case. Down the start-finish straight they come. Bentley's going to have a look. The endurance lights are turned on. Into turn 1. Can the Bentley make a move? No, but the SOP Motorsports car will absolutely take a narrow line in to dissuade Vermeulen from even attempting the position. Oh, bit of lag there for Ranjbar. Not quite touching the ground at the moment and taking some strange lines. Through Dunlop they come, and now Renshaw is getting very defensive and has started to fall away from Van der Merwe. That'll be a sigh of relief for the 67 Lexus driver. But the problem is that if Renshaw concedes that position, which it looks like he might ever so soon, the only thing he's got going for him at the moment is that mid-engine McLaren has slightly more traction than the Bentley behind. No matter how far back they put that block, they've still got to make room for the driver. And in case you haven't, I highly recommend, as the 39 goes very, very wide through Spoon Curve, I highly recommend getting a few images up of the Bentley engine bay. You'll understand what I mean when I say, what is going on there? When I say that the Bentley has the engine mounted really far back, I am not kidding. I have appalling news for the rest of the field. As Jason Absmeyer going through Spoon Curve, I'm going to give him some attention because this is a blisteringly fast lap at the moment. Oh, he's lost it all at Spoon. He was 4/10 up on his previous lap time, which would have been 2/10 faster than the overall fastest lap so far. That would have been a 2:07.8. There is so much speed under that Aston Martin. What an astonishing drive from Absmeyer. 96 now, back behind Pris. So what has happened to... I don't remember seeing any kind of incident or Heinecker having an accident. I'm going to have to go to a replay very quickly to have a scan of this. But needless to say, I do believe that's going to be a fairly easy pass for the GTR. The THT drivers are being very compliant at the moment. The man I was looking for was the 96 of Heinecker, who has been hunting down... I'm sure he was in front for a while. That's absolutely fine. I'm more than happy being wrong on that one. Nonetheless, the pass is made, and the 7 and the 38 cars will be together once again. How is this battle over 10th going for Mullen? Still on the back of the McLaren. This is battle over 8th now. What have we lost? We've lost a car from that. Heinecker. No, Heinecker is where he should be. Oh, big kick of oversteer from the 39 car. That's perhaps the tyres being a little bit overheated. I don't remember that battle being over 10th, or a car would have pitted. It's really strange. This dashboard I'm using has all these sorts of incidents and accidents and best laps and that sort of thing. Doesn't tell me when a car's pitting. Doesn't tell me anything like that. Which I'm going to feed back, I think. 3 cars still have yet to pit. The number 1, who only has, and I mean only has, 11 seconds to the good of Sean Stridham. That is with a Fry versus BMW soon for 10th and 11th. Yeah, I see that. Oh, I see that. That has changed significantly through the snake and out through Dunlop. That Ferrari is suddenly looking very hooked up for the condition of its tyres. On the brakes into the hairpin. I need to know what that 60 sign is on the back corner. Garrett or anybody, if you are available at any point, I would love to have a word with you. Not too much of a word, just a bit of a word. So, car 1 got a 10-second penalty and unavoidable racing incident for the car 39. Very, very fair from the race director. I was expecting it, but at the same time, it's very nice to have that reassured as well. I'm now going to get the race control chat up so that everybody, so I can read that and I don't have to be DM'd. Now Ferrari's fallen back though. I dare say that may have just been a little bit of a dead spot in the BMW's tyres. Jack Vermeulen looks like he's starting to... It did look like he was starting to... Yeah, he's starting to reel back in that SOP Motorsport McLaren. A shame to see a different driver behind the wheel on that 720S because it was blisteringly quick last time out. "15 minutes to go. Absmeyer, Wessels and Dinobrega still have yet to pit. I'm intrigued as to what the strategy call is here, because to my mind, where is that number 90 car? Stridham is now closing in. He has no traffic between himself and third place, and Tristan Dinobrega is still yet to pit. That's an astonishing amount of pace from Stridham. But more alarmingly, where is that 90 car? 78's out in its own. The 90 is coming up to a tremendous amount of traffic. This could be a large issue for our race leader. He needs to pit now, otherwise he's going to lose a lot of time in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars that he needs to pass. Blue flags will help, of course, but this actually is high drama. If you're used to endurance racing, then I'm sure you understand exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, I don't think the 60 is his speed limit. I was also thinking maybe he's going to cause a code 60 because it's wet, or I'm confused. Hence why I need to know. We need to ask these questions. The gap is 19 seconds to Wessels, 20 seconds further to Dinobrega, and only 8 seconds. This could be very, very close for the lead of the race when Absmeyer comes out of the pits. He needs to pit now. There is too much traffic for him to cleanly negotiate. Will he come in this time? No. He's going to stick it out one more lap. That's possible. I think this is a bit of a bad call now. And Absmeyer might well be starting to lose time. Meanwhile, where is the 394 in the scheme of things? Sean Stridham has in front of him the number 1 and the number 42, two very, very quick cars. I mean, he's quicker, but he is not going to be held up in the same way that Absmeyer is going to be. If Absmeyer needs to lapse these cars, he's going to lose out time. He should be in the pits in the next lap, possibly 2 tops. Yellow flag for Stephen Koenig, who is having a big old spin. Where is that? I think that's... Where on earth is that on the track? That was through turn 1. That was through turn 1. That was an almighty accident to have on the inside of turn 1. I wonder how that's happened. I love when ACC lags like this. It really makes it worth doing. Into turn 1, he outbrakes himself, goes super wide. How does he end up on the inside of the track? Oh, he gets a massive oversteer. Just gets avoided by the Porsche there. I think that was Wessels in the 27 car. We'll just get it all back together. That's incredible to see. Good, safe rejoin at least. Range bar now up behind Vermeulen. So that pass has been made, according to Pitbull, is 2 seconds a lap faster on average. Yeah, absolutely. I don't doubt that at all. So while we were looking at that replay, we're going to have another look again, but I'm going to need to do this the old-fashioned way, because while we were looking at that, the 9th and 10th place cars, 8th and 9th place cars have swapped positions. Can't believe. Back to the replay. Let me have a look for. No, this is all wrong. This where is I'm looking for range bar with the car behind, car in front. So what on earth has happened between the hairpin? Oh, there has been an accident or something. That number 5 car was not happy. He went defensive, but the Bentley was through before he even was able to blink. How is Absmeyer still out? Where's the 90 car? The leader is going to be coming up on this battle very soon, and this is what I mean. He's losing time now. He might be faster overall, but this traffic is not going to be helping his cause at all. Robin van der Merwe up behind the 38 Porsche again of Koenig. Bit of a race to forget for Robin. Will dive up the inside, leave space on the inside, but the 38, I don't know if that was running off the track in avoidance, or Rangebard drops it. I got a yellow flag, but if that yellow flag is actually legitimate, going through Spoon Curve will get on the throttle. Oh, big kick of oversteer on the wet conditions, will nose into the wall. That looks like a very big smash, but a shockingly small amount of damage taken. I'm surprised. Oh, that's a lot of oversteer for Rangebar. That's going to be heartbreak for him, I dare say. But further up the field, we have Alan Patterson being closely followed by Gerrit Jerison van Vruwen and Chris Heinecker. This is a battle for position. Jason Absmeyer into the pits. Finally, Stephen Wessels follows in the wake, as the last driver to pit will be Tristan Dinobrega, who perhaps will take the lead of the race. He should take the lead of the race. Sean Stridham will go to second, apparently. I'm not going to go away from this battle at the moment, but this is nail-biting stuff for the lead of the race. Oh, they're separated by a couple of corners. How fast is that 394 Aston when it's apples to apples? Further down the field, the Ferraris had to go defensive to Heinecker. Plenty of pace left in that Nissan GTR, and the 64 is going to get a little bit of breathing room for a couple of seconds while the 6 and the 96 battle it out. Stop go for car 27. Oh no! How has he gotten that? Is that track limits? That can't be a stop-go. Yellow flag for Tristan, who comes out of the pits just in front of this battle. So getting right into the thick of things. Where is Vermeulen? Where am I? Come on. Dino Breaker has retired? What happened there? That looks... I'm sure I saw Tristan come out. Anyway. Battle over 7th between Johannes van der Merwe and Jacques Vermeulen. That 39 car has been all in the wars today. But perhaps the Bentley is starting to come good in the closing 6 minutes of the race. What has gone on with Tristan there? I don't know what's going on there, but I'm really upset that we've been robbed of that McLaren 720S. If there's anything going on, I am in the interview room waiting for people already. Battle over 6th position this becomes, so suddenly the points gaps seem start to make a little bit more... Well, they seem to matter a little bit more than they did. Heinecker looking at the back of Patterson now. He's made it past the Ferrari, who was not able to defend. BMW goes to the outside. There is so much performance in that Nissan GTR in a straight off the corner, though, that they're going to go side by side over the national start finish. And up towards 130i. You don't want to go too wide through here. Who is going to concede? The answer is the BMW will just give up. As the Ferrari looks to the outside, this isn't over yet. As the Ferrari looks to the inside, the BMW could lose both positions. BMW turns in, they make the tiniest bit of contact, and the 64 will abandon the lap. That's pretty fair, I've got to say. Over the start-finish line, the Ferrari will have another opportunity to make things happen. Thank you to Amtech for reminding. Do not forget to like the stream. This is vitally important. You guys are letting YouTube know that this is content you want to watch and that is worth watching. Again, the Ferrari has the opportunity to go on the attack through the snake. BMW might just about be running out of tyres now. 5 seconds slower for Absmeyer. That's odd. 207 that time round. 207. So Absmeyer is down into 207s for what it's worth. Oh, BMW runs wide. Is this the opportunity that the Ferrari needs? It looks like it is. Ferrari goes to the inside, back onto the wet track. He has enough of an overlap to get it done. 64 tries to go up the inside. The camera cuts away to an awful position that we can't see. And side by side, they will come out of the hairpin too. Ferrari just leads, but I don't think Patterson's ready to give up that position yet. The front engine BMW is going to have a look up the inside into Spoon Curve. No. The position is conceded. Lexus v Bentley for 6th and 7th is a good shout as well. I do believe that is about conceded now. The Bentley again, just in case you aren't familiar with just how good this Bentley sounds, have some fun as the... I remember why I didn't go to the Bentley camera before, because this is not a very useful camera. There we go, that's a better camera. But I can't get to that camera with the new dashboard, that's interesting. As Wessels serves his penalty, he's going to drop right out of the fight here. What a good noise from the Bentley though. If you can hear it, yeah, you can hear that. That's excellent to see. That Lexus is wiggling about in front. I dare say there's not a whole lot of rubber left on those tyres. And the water is starting to flood. on the brakes into the Degners again. 67 car can't quite get it stopped. We go to the outside view again. Tighter line on the exit for the 39 car. That will give him more speed coming up into the hairpin. Can he get an overlap under braking? Bentley is always the last of the late breakers. He looks to the outside. 67 goes defensive. 39 is going to take a normal line and try and get the cutback, but the Lexus sits right in the middle of the road. Can't make it happen there. Through this long right-hander of 200R. And the Lexus just stretches its legs ever so slightly. Down into Spoon they come. On the brakes. Oh, Lexus spins. They make contact. 39 cars across the grass on the inside. But I'm sure that is... There we go. That is a very, very interesting way to pass. But I don't think anyone's going to have an issue with how that pass was made. That was... that's going to be some damage for both cars to take to the end of the race. I think the 39 car should be just about right, but I would be more concerned about the front toe of the 67 car. Also just behind, is that the Heinecker car as well? Oh my goodness, we have 43 seconds remaining in this race, and Chris Heinecker, the driver who was so blisteringly fast in the Porsche last season and is so blisteringly quick in this GTR as well, giving such good representation to the Japanese brand on the home circuit for Nissan, is going to be challenging for this 5th position. Up into the snake they come. 3 attached by a short bungee cord. The 2 cars in front are damaged. Heinecker will have seen that accident and will be sniffing blood in the water for this final lap. Actually, is this going to be the final lap? No! There will be another lap after this. Heinecker breathes a sigh of relief as suddenly he has got another lap to be able to make this work. And Absmeyer must be enjoying his race something chronic to have worked so hard to take the car across the line. What is up with the Ferrari? Just a spin on the first part of Dunlop. Up the inside, 96 gets a little bump on the 67. We'll go around the outside, 67 goes for a spin. It's really unfortunate for Lexus. Heinecker seems to have so much performance on the Lexus that it was never going to end well. The Bentley might actually, depending on how fast Heinecker is at the moment, is... Ooh. Yes. This might be on. This might yet be on. Absmeyer has gifted the 96 Nissan a opportunity which he must not pass up. I dare say, where is the 90 car? He is not far off this battle. I don't think Absmeyer will mind, but this has the potential to be an astonishing final lap from the Nissan GTR, hunting down 5th position. That's the 86 car of Robin van der Merwe. We're having a big old spin in front of the 78 of Kleb. That was so close to disaster. Coming through 200R, such a committed corner. Can we get back onto the track? Oh my goodness. As the 42 looks up the inside and takes the position, that will be him unlapping himself. Jason Absmeyer will take the victory. We will stick with him for just a second. We will have to wait a significant amount of time for Sean Stridham in that 394. It will be A2P powered by Amtech first and third as they come across the line, pending any difficulties in the final couple of corners. BMW is pushing a Lexus of van der Merwe. Meanwhile, Heinecker, I don't think Heinecker is closing in at the moment. No, he is not. Mustafa Ranjbat, can he do anything about the Ferrari? Jensen van Vuren in these final stages. Prius is up in this fight as well. This is over 10th place on the grass for the Assetto Motorsport car. Round the outside, he loses out to the Porsche. So Pruis managing to get on the stop sticks nice and quick. As the third place car crosses the line. That is absolutely spot on. So the 10th place driver will lose out in the end to the number 7 Porsche. That Porsche isn't quite done yet. It looks as though it's quick enough to potentially get things a little bit better. I wish you guys wouldn't disappear from the server while the results are still coming in, because I need to see what the results are. Oh, the Porsche and the Lamborghini get together in the foreground. And Rajibar from nowhere is going to take home those spoils. I do love it when it lags like this. Oh man. So, coming in to the final chicane, the Porsche had something of an overlap on the Ferrari, must have. What drama on the closing lap. The Porsche just got a massive amount of speed off the final corner. The Ferrari tried to go defensive, but that was as far as it went. Your finishing order in the end will be Jason Absmeyer with the win. Sean Stridham with the... Actually, can I get the full timing screens? I can. That's wonderful to see. There we go. Jason Absmeyer will take the win with Stridham in second. Third for the A2P cars with Kleb in the 78 car. Neil Greening will come home in fourth. Jacques Vermeulen in fifth in that 39 banana car BMW Bentley Continental. Don't let him hear me say that. Johannes van der Merwe will come home in sixth, with Chris Heinecker with a troubled race for that 96 Nissan, salvaging a seventh. Eighth will be Alan Patterson in that BMW M6. Ranchbar will come home in ninth in the end, with Janssen van Vuren in 10th, Preuss in 11th, Wessels in 12th, Masseria in 13th, Koenig in 14th. Venter will come home 15th, Van der Merwe in 16th, 17th will be Tristan Dinobrega, which what I can only assume is a disconnect, and Pullen will round out the field. Stephen Koenig is already in the interview room. He is muted at the moment. Good evening, my friend.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Sure, what a race. Having to wear a life vest and floaties out there.
Yeah,
that's for certain.
Just a little bit. Talk us through how the race was from your perspective, because, I mean, well, where are you? You had the Porsche, so I thought you had the Porsche. So you were... Now, okay, I'm going to show my stripes a little bit here, but we have on previous occasions seen Porsche GTE cars have an astonishing amount of pace on wet tracks, even being faster than LMP2 cars. How was the Porsche today? It's a bit of a different proposition.
Well, the Porsche's definitely got a huge amount of pace to it, and actually, it's fantastic. The problem is at how the track was getting the power down to be able to do it. So my friend Yanniman Perez, he was absolutely dominating out of the corners. And what I found is I can catch up to the guys coming to the corners, but there's no replacement for displacement when you're working with V10s, V8s, and so much more. So they tend to run out in a straight line. The track was very, very difficult conditions. I'm surprised where I finished, to be honest. But yeah, no. The Porsche's in the dry, fantastic. In the wet, a little bit of tinkering, and you definitely got a pocket rocket of note.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. That was, yeah, it's a difficult balance. It's a difficult game, is balance of performance, unfortunately. I'm just trying to get other stuff sorted at the same time. But it was a very interesting race up and down the field. There was a lot more contact than we're used to from LNR. The weather, do you think, has got the better of some of the other drivers?
I do think so. At the start, you could see everyone was trying to go a little bit of a later game or an early game. But unfortunately, contact did throw a lot of guys into the pits early. I can tell you from our side, our pit boss, Lee, was in taking note of where drivers are and said, no, keep the strategy of try and pace it out as long as possible. And unfortunately, the guys started pitting with damage, so we managed to make up some room to them. But once again, it puts us a little bit out of where the times are. So it was fantastic, but I do think the weather came into play, and we're all drivers. We love having our nerves on. As soon as you close that visor, that's it. The red mist comes down, and nothing else to it. But yeah, definitely weather came into play. We saw it, guys, clipping the curbs, and once you touch that grass or the curb, you become a passenger in your vehicle. That's for certain.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't have put it any better myself. Thank you for. It's really nice hearing that from the drivers as well, because it makes me feel a little bit better that I'm not just spouting from my own experience, if that makes sense.
No, definitely, and I mean, you were watching some of the faster guys working their way through us back markers, and you could see we're unfortunately putting them off onto, well, essentially the more wet line instead of the dry line, and you could see how they were flicking the cars around. Your cars that normally do so well in this, your Aston Martins, suddenly now getting the rear stepping out on them, they're having to counter steer against it, but. Wow, hats off to the drivers that's managed to work their way through and also give a lot of room to us.
Yeah, 100%. No, great to hear that. Well, you at least had a relatively quiet race, at least.
No, it was a lot of fun, and yeah, if it wasn't for Lee being the pit boss, Janneman telling me jokes halfway through the race, which is even great. Oh, and I've been told it's. Price, but we're calling him Prius from now on.
Yeah, I was going to say, I kept on defaulting to Prius, and it swaps over in my... It's Price, isn't it? Yeah. I did get it right half the time. Half the time I was right every time. So
it's definitely Prius. Keep it to Prius.
It's definitely Prius. Okay. Does he get a free hybrid if we call him Prius?
I definitely think so.
Hybrid boost. We give him an MG UK.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
But this race was definitely showing a different skill from every single one of the drivers, and handling in the wet. It's definitely exciting. I know a lot of us don't get to play around in the wet too often, so it's nice to have a good change up. We got to have a bit of fun. I kept Herbie nice and clean, which is great.
Yep.
So yeah, big thank you to you. Big thank you to LNR and Sky Coffee, Steakhouse Red, Twins Motorsport. Massive thank you to you guys and to all the other drivers. And if I'd like to say a big thank you to Lee for helping out, Janneman, and also PWSR Rap for, Herbie. We brought Herbie to the racetrack.
It's always good to have Herbies on the racetrack. Stephen, it's always wonderful to be able to speak to you. You have a lovely evening. I need to get through some of the other drivers. Not that anyone's wanting to talk to me. I don't know if it's because I'm scary or something, or maybe they just don't like post-race interviews. Stephen, you're a wonderful man. Thank you very much for coming in and making my life so easy when it comes to commentating as well, because you guys really do make this job very, very easy to do.
Thank you very much. And oh shucks, that was Sean Stratton. Oh well, yeah. But yeah. It's been an interesting race, and big thank you to everyone watching and supporting at home. It was absolutely fantastic to see that as well. I mean, they were definitely giving support, and I saw them giving you a bit of a rough time as well. Yeah, they always give me a rough time. It's great. Stephen, thank you very much for dropping in. You have a lovely evening, my friend. I'll catch you in a bit. Too. Cheers. Bye. All right. See, there was a driver waiting in the form of Sean Stridham.
but it seems as though he has disappeared somewhere. So I, unfortunately, don't have a lot else to do. What I will do, because I can, and this is the reason why I was a little bit distant, is because I'm doing all of this live and all of this on my own, is transition to the wonderful finishing screen that we got from the previous session as your victor for this round 2. Did that just go black? Excuse me. There we go. Is that black for everybody, or is that just me? That would be very annoying. Your winner will be Jason Absmeyer. Stryden will come home second. Cleab came home in third, so that A to P 1-3 confirmed. Neil Greening will bring home the fourth. Aston Martin in fourth. Bentley Continental GT3 of Vermeulen will come home fifth. Sixth will be Van der Moer. Heinecker will come home seventh. Patterson in eighth. Rangebar in ninth for SOP Motorsports. The Jensen Van Veren car, it will come home 10th. Prius in 11th. Wessels will come home 12th. Masiera in 13th. 14th will be Koenig. Still waiting for other drivers to potentially come and say hi. Paul Venter will come home in 15th. 16th will be Van der Moer. The Robin side of the garage. Tristan Dinnerbregger will get a DNF, I think, and Mr. Pullen will also be taking the drop score, I dare say. Not a lot more that I can really say. Here we go. That's fine. Cool. Not much more to be said tonight. I don't think I'm going to be able to get the... I'm not going to be able to get the championship results, unfortunately. But I will take this opportunity to thank all the sponsors of Logistical Nightmare Racing. You make this life significantly easier to run, as well as all the Patreons that support Logistical Nightmare as well. You will, of course, get a very quick thank you coming up. But in the meantime, this has been an astonishing 50 minutes of wet racing for Logistical Nightmare Racing. I've been X-Guy, and I will see you all next time, where we are going to Italy and the iconic, traditional, incredible location of Imola. You have a lovely good evening, my friends, and as always, be excellent to each other. Good night.